Good evening, it's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. Reservations in medical education across India. The Prime Minister announces that there will be 27% reservation for OBC students, 10% for poor students in the economically weaker quota. This means with the OBC addition that the total medical education reservation in states is now nearly 50%. Kerala is India's COVID epicenter. Half of all cases are from here. The centre rushes a 6-member team to Kerala. Besides the high cases, the rising deaths here are also a major concern. A Jharkhand judge is killed on a road is being investigated as murder. CCTV footage shows a tempo ramming into the judge in the middle of the road. The Jharkhand High Court says it will monitor the police probe. The accused wife says that he came home with 80,000 rupees. The Parliament cycle. Bills are passed amid chaos again today. Pegasus protests don't stop the government as the bills go through. The Delhi Chief Minister in the State Assembly says that the new police commissioner choice is illegal. Arvind Kejriwal says Rakesh Asthana's appointment is against a Supreme Court order. Our lead story tonight, well, the government has announced a landmark decision in medical education. There will now be reservations from 21-22 in the All India Quota scheme for undergraduate and postgraduate medical and dental courses for OBCs and for the economically weaker section. With the OBC reservations, the total reservation in medical education will now be nearly 50%.
Months ahead of key elections in several states, including the biggest one, Uttar Pradesh, the centre has announced a new set of quotas to be implemented. The Prime Minister described this as a landmark decision, saying this will immensely help thousands of our youth every year get better opportunities and create a new paradigm of social justice in our country.
The decision to go ahead with reservation was prompted by a court order, and the government was pushed to go ahead with this decision. Irrespective, all political parties cutting across party lines, including the opposition, say it will be difficult for them to oppose this political move, especially since they don't want to be seen upsetting the SCs, STs, OBCs and the economically weaker sections.
In fact, they were compelled to take decision by the orders of the court. They never yielded. They didn't want to give a reservation to backward classes, particularly in state-surrendered seats. In fact, they have been dodging, I would use this word, they have been dodging, they have been denying, depriving the backward class students.
It is a historical milestone, it is a great achievement. It is a great victory for social justice. Central government should implement strictly from this academic year onwards. For the past 4 years, the OBCs have lost more than 11,200 seats in UG, PG, medical and dental seats.
The central government has provided for reservation in the All India Quota scheme for medical and dental courses in state-run institutions. There will be a 27% reservation for OBCs and a 10% reservation for economically weaker sections. The government says about 5,500 students will benefit. The 27% OBC quota will take the total quotas up to 49.5%. For the EWS quota of 10%, extra seats were added after a 2019 amendment. The centre has said that the total seats for the unreserved category will not reduce. In Lucknow, the political nerve centre for the 2022 state polls and even the 2024 national election, MBBS aspirants were divided over the move.
गरीब वालों के लिए तो ठीक है, मगर जो ओबीसी वालों के लिए लगा है वो तो फिर जनरल को इफेक्ट करेगा, क्योंकि अभी कॉलेजेस की सीट कम है इंडिया में मेडिकल को लेके, और जितनी डॉक्टरों की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है एज पर द सीट।
और ये जो गवर्नमेंट द्वारा ये लॉ जारी किया गया है ये हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा, क्योंकि इसके जरिए हमारे जो परसेंटेज ऑफ होंगे मेरिट के वो ज़्यादा इंक्रीज हो जाएंगे।
In 2020, the Supreme Court had dismissed a batch of petitions, including by the Tamil Nadu government, seeking 50% OBC quota in state-run medical colleges. The AIADMK-led Tamil Nadu government and the DMK, in power now, had both moved the top court after the centre had said it was not possible to extend 50% OBC reservation last year. With Sunil Prabhu, Arvind Gunashekhar and Sam Daniel, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
A major game changer in medical education. What will the impact of that be? Meanwhile, our focus remains on COVID data. So India's at 43,509 new COVID cases. That's almost the same as yesterday. Deaths also exactly the same at 640. So we're seeing an upward trend the last 2 days. Vaccination in the last 24 hours, some good news, is just over 49 lakhs. That's up 18%. The daily positivity rate is at 2.52%. That is also climbing, though it is below 3%. But let's just look at the active cases, because that's crossed now the 4 lakh mark. That's the highest jump in active cases. But that is also perhaps what's the strong thing here is that there's been a weekly rise, a very minuscule weekly rise in active cases, of which Kerala is 37.5% of active cases. Let's just look now at the states in the last 24 hours. And here again, worryingly, Kerala is still at over 22,000 cases in the last 24 hours. There's been over 22,000 for the last 3 days. That's over 50% of India's cases. Maharashtra cases also going up at 6,857. Then Andhra Pradesh up by nearly 30%. Tamil Nadu is pretty much the same as the day before, and Orissa up slightly at 4.54%. But Kerala now really India's COVID epicenter, the center rushing a 6-member team to Kerala. The worry also is about the high number of deaths. Meanwhile, Kerala's health minister says the high cases are because Kerala is making sure it's carrying out the maximum number of tests.
The answer to why Kerala is reporting more than 50% of the country's COVID cases is in the latest ICMR Sero survey. That says only 44% of Kerala's population has antibodies to fight COVID infection, whereas it is 65% for the rest of the country.
The seroprevalence study conducted by the ICMR shows that the number of people, or the percentage of people who have antibodies in their body, is almost around 42%, which shows that our preventive mechanism was very good. Our system is always to test, trace and treat.
Even the 44% seropositivity in Kerala is not just due to infection but also vaccination. Kerala has already vaccinated over half of its adult population with at least 1 dose. The centre is concerned about Kerala as in the last 8 weeks, average daily new cases have jumped by 13%. Daily deaths have been between 97 and 174. Weekly positivity rate has been between 10.5% and 14.8%, but never below 10%.
The hospital admissions are also gradually increasing, and we have around 3,200 hospital admissions in last 24 hours. The major concern is that if the hospitals are getting filled, if the hospital gets, is saturated, we cannot afford to have more beds, then it's going to be a huge problem for the health infrastructure in Kerala.
The much lauded Kerala model has perhaps in a sense become its undoing, as virus exposure has been low. The challenge for Kerala is now to fast-track vaccinations even more so that they can slow the rate of infection and bring down hospital admissions, severity and mortality. With SP Babu in Thiruvananthapuram and camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
So extremely worrying numbers coming from Kerala there. The big question, what happened to the Kerala model? Meanwhile, the other big headline, these shocking pictures on CCTV footage from Jharkhand, which shows a judicial officer being run down on camera, where apparently a tempo actually veers from its passage and goes into him, almost as if they were aiming to ram him. The Jharkhand police are now investigating this as murder after the Jharkhand High Court ordered an immediate probe and said they will be monitoring it personally.
After this chilling video, Dhanbad Judge Uttam Anand's death is now being investigated as murder, not a hit and run. On an empty road, this vehicle goes out of its path to knock him down.
तो देख करके लग रहा है कि इंटेंशनली कोई मारा है, ये एक्सीडेंट का केस नहीं लगता है.
The police say it has seized the vehicle and arrested 2 people on charges of murder who have reportedly confessed. The number plate of the vehicle had been tampered with, hinting at signs of conspiracy.
जो व्यक्ति जांच के दायरे में आ रहे हैं उनको हम लोग उनसे पूछताछ कर रहे हैं। हमारी टीम अलग अलग जगह लगी हुई है। अब देख रहे हैं जो हमारे सही पदाधिकारी हमारे साथ हैं।
The actual owner of the vehicle claimed that it was stolen 2 days ago, while the family of the accused driver claimed he told them that he had won a lottery.
रात में करीब 3:30 बजे हम उठे तो देखे टेम्पो गायब है।
मेरा भाई बोला कि कहाँ से आए, तो बोला हम आए पाथलडी से, तो हमको 80,000 लॉटरी लगा। लॉटरी लगने के बाद हम यही गाड़ी लिए हैं और एक तो मोबाइल लिए।
Additional District Judge Uttam Yadav was involved in several high-profile cases. He had recently rejected the bails for 2 accused of Aman Singh's gang, a criminal notorious for kidnappings and extortion across Jharkhand and Bihar. The murder case of Ranjay Singh, a close aide of Jharia MLA Sanjeev Singh, was also pending before his court. The issue was also raised today before the Chief Justice of India by the Supreme Court Bar Association President Vikas Singh, who sought a CBI probe into the matter.
This was so shocking and such a brazen attempt on the independence of judiciary. I am demanding a CBI inquiry.
The Chief Justice of India said, "I have spoken to Chief Justice of Jharkhand High Court and he has taken up the issue and the case is going on there. We are aware of the case and we will take care." The Jharkhand High Court meanwhile warned the district police, with Chief Justice Ravi Ranjan saying there was a delay in filing an FIR in the case. We will monitor the probe and will not tolerate any laxity in it. If we find laxity on the part of the district police, then we will not hesitate in handing over the probe to the CBI. The judge was out jogging at around 5:35 in the morning. A passerby took him to hospital where he died around 9:30. The police identified him after his family reported him missing at 7 a.m. He was only half a kilometer away from his home when he was hit by the vehicle.
The broad daylight incident has sent shockwaves across the country because if the guardians of the law itself are not safe, then it raises serious questions and demands a thorough probe. With Kundan from Dhanbad, Harivansh from Ranchi and Manish Kumar from Patna, in New Delhi, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
Delhi's Chief Minister today said that the appointment of the new Police Commissioner of Delhi, Rakesh Asthana, was illegal and went against a Supreme Court order.
मुझे लगता है शायद वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के खिलाफ है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो इस बारे में आदेश पारित किया है उसके वो खिलाफ है। मैं समझता हूँ जब सीबीआई डायरेक्टर बनाने की भी बात आई थी तो जो सीबीआई डायरेक्टर बनाने वाली जो कमेटी है जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री जी लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन और चीफ जस्टिस थे, तो अखबारों में जो खबरें छपी थी उसके मुताबिक चूंकि वो उसके लिए एलिजिबल नहीं थे इसलिए उन्हें नहीं बनाया जा सका। तो वही कारण है कि वो इस पोस्ट के लिए भी एलिजिबल नहीं थे। तो केंद्र सरकार को सभी कायदे कानून के हिसाब से नियुक्ति करनी चाहिए।
Well, a statement is only likely to add to the tension between the Delhi police and the Delhi government. Meanwhile, the Sensex Nifty snapped a 3-day losing streak led by metal shares. The benchmark staged a gap up opening and held on to gains as futures and option contracts for the month of July expired. The Sensex ended 209 points higher. The Nifty 50 index also rose 69 points. But let's just look at global numbers with COVID cases and deaths rising across the globe because of the Delta variant. So the US is still the highest in the world. They're slightly down from yesterday's numbers. Brazil also, cases are down, but again very high at over 48,000. The deaths also at over 1,300. India also has been high for the last 2 days. The deaths at 640. France and the UK also reporting numbers up as well. The United Kingdom is up by 7.47%. But the real worry now is in South Asia, including Thailand and Vietnam, as well as China, which is reporting fresh outbreaks. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom has eased its quarantine norms. From next week, fully vaccinated travellers from the United States and the European Union will be allowed into the UK without a compulsory quarantine. Now, this, of course, has raised an issue of vaccine racism because fully vaccinated Indian travellers are still on a red list, despite the fact that they've taken the vaccine Covishield, which is the same as the AstraZeneca being used in the United Kingdom. Well, as we end tonight, today is International Tiger Day. So let's just look, as we celebrate a rise in tiger population, at the highlights of what NDTV began way back in 2006, Save the Tiger.
The 29th of July is celebrated as International Tiger Day, a day to raise awareness about the conservation of the wild cat, which over the last 150 years has witnessed a massive drop of nearly 95% in its population. The theme for the 2021 International Tiger Day is "Their survival is in our hand." India accounts for nearly 70% of the world's total tiger population and has already achieved the target of doubling its numbers.
This time, we can make that 1,400, 2,800 and then 5,000.
NDTV has been campaigning for years to highlight tiger conservation and the urgent need for states to take steps to ensure coming generations will get to see our national animal in its natural habitat. We began the campaign Save Our Tigers when the tiger population in the country was estimated at 1,411 in 2006. In 2019, the tiger estimate had grown to 2,967.